Hey up into Wilders, how is everyone? I hope you're all keeping really well. And as you can probably see, I have a bit of an empty space next to me. Tom isn't here, but this, I promise, will be the only episode that we don't see him. I don't like doing it on my own. It's just not into Wild without Tom. But the only reason he's not here is because, as you know, I started a new job last year now, and our work schedules don't quite marry up anymore. So while he's working a lot of weekends, well, most weekends, I get the weekends off. But do not fear, and I'll tell you why this is the only one we're doing. It's because we have some really exciting trips booked for May and June, definitely. And then we've got more ideas coming to fruition for the rest of the summer. And then we'll make it work in winter as well. So apologies for being a little bit quiet, but we've really missed you guys and we've really missed being out and doing this. But you know how life gets. We've been out, you know, me and Tom have been out on our own to wildlife places, but sometimes it's nice to just experience it and not just think all the time about, oh, I need to get it on film. So thank you ever so much for bearing with us, and we're really glad to have you back and supporting us again. So where am I and what am I doing? So it is the end of April now, and the bluebells are in absolute full bloom. They are just stunning. I mean, just look behind me. The whole carpet of blue purple is just stunning in the sunlight. And I only live half an hour from here, so I've grown up coming to these woods quite a lot. And this is the best I've seen it. Now, I do believe that's because, despite the bluebells being out and things, spring is actually quite far behind up here in Yorkshire. We're about 3 weeks behind, which means the trees are still in bud. They're not in full leaf yet. And I'm wondering, and I'm no expert, but I'm wondering if because there's less leaves on the trees and we've had quite a lot of bright sunshine, it's able to penetrate the woods more. So almost all the gaps are just filled with bluebells. So that's what I'm thinking. If you have other ideas, then please let me know, because I'm not a scientist. But I just thought I'd come here now, and I'm getting footage and I'm getting photos, and I'm honestly just having the best day. You know, I've not been out for a while with my camera, and it's just I'm so glad to be back. Now this isn't going to be a normal Into Wild because there's no Tom and I can't follow anyone round filming, and it's hard work doing it yourself, filming and being on camera and thinking of what to say and getting all the angles and shots. So please bear with me, because this isn't a normal Into Wild, but it's more normal than we've done for a little bit. However, don't worry, you're not going to be missing Tom that much, because if you listen out for him in a minute, he'll be telling you all about our Bluebell Woods. So I thought I'd just share this with you. Just taking in all the bird sounds. Hear that? And this is our message to you to get out in your local woodland. All the birds are very busy at the minute. First broods are out. I've seen lots of baby great tits, juvenile robins. I've even seen a juvenile nuthatch today, which is exciting. The bees are pollinating, the butterflies are flying everywhere. So please, put your stresses behind you. The days are getting longer. Go for an evening walk, a morning walk, a mid-afternoon lunch walk. Listen to the sounds of spring. Smell the flowers. Smell everything. Because we're there. We're in spring and we're nearly on the verge of summer. So sit back and enjoy this episode of Bluebell Woods.
If you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise, so starts the famous song. However, it's very true of our woodlands today. Around April time every year, our woodlands become carpeted with blue. I'm talking, of course, about the humble but very beautiful bluebell. Few flowers can invoke such passions in people as our beautiful bluebell, and here I am going to tell you a few bits about it. In this video, when we're talking about bluebells, we're talking about the English bluebell, Hyacinthoides non-scripta, and not its Spanish cousin, Hyacinthoides hispanica. It's important to know the difference between the two, because unfortunately our native English bluebell is under threat from its Spanish cousin. English bluebells tend to be of a more uniform shape and colour, being a deep rich blue to purple and having much deeper bells as flowers, whereas the Spanish bluebell is much paler generally, but can vary in colours as well, with violets, whites and pinks amongst its colours. The main threat from the Spanish bluebell comes from the fact that it is much more prolific and fast growing. It will reproduce quicker and so outcompete the English bluebell, which colonies can take up to 7 years to establish. The name bluebell seems obvious when looking at them, but throughout the years, bluebells have had many different monikers, from things like lady's nightcap and witch's thimbles to cuckoo's boots and wood hyacinth. And with names like these, it's easy to imagine that they are also steeped in our rich folklore history. In days gone by, it was often told the ringing of the bluebells summoned the fairy folk to gather with their kin. However, if a human heard the pealing of the bluebells, then it would be their death knell. It was therefore considered unlucky to step or trample across a bed of bluebells should you risk angering the fairy folk. Perhaps this was just an imaginative way of encouraging people to leave our bluebells be, because they are a great resource for our wildlife. As bluebells flower earlier than many other plants, they can bring early benefits to many woodland species, such as bees, wasps, butterflies and hoverflies. Some bees can even steal the nectar from a bluebell by biting a hole in the base of the flower and reaping the benefits without even pollinating the plant. And you see some bluebells in the woods, as well as marvelling at their beauty and scent, just think what they're doing for our wildlife, and certainly think twice before disturbing them.